Good morning and very welcome to today's tutorial where we will teach you how to make these gorgeous book covers. The specific one is done in the 5x7 hoop, although it gives you a nice size. It's an A5 size, or in inches it's 6.2 by 8.6 inches, but we will include various sizes in the file. The front, the back is all done in your hoop, and you can add a little message to the back if you wish. There's a little closure on the side, and we've just added, to pretty it up, this metal clasp that you can purchase from any of your craft stores. On the inside it has these little triangles to keep your book from shifting. So let's get started on making these gorgeous book covers on your embroidery machine. First of all, you will need some cutaway stabilizer. I really recommend a cutaway rather than a tearaway. There's a lot of stitching that will happen in the hoop and we don't want it to tear out, so definitely a cutaway. You will need your top fabric. I'm going to use this suede fabric for the top. You need a quite stiff batting. This is Loomtex, but it's a quite hard version of Loomtex. And then you're going to need a fabric for the inside of your book, or the wrong side of it. You will also need your coordinating thread, of course, and 505 spray is recommended to keep everything in the hoop and from shifting while stitching. So let's get started on making these book covers on your machine. We need to make these little triangles for the inside of the book. Now this is just a 4x4 inch square that I folded and I just ironed it, and you can just top stitch on the top if you would like, just to secure it and make it nice and neat. So you would need 4 corners. It's 2 for the front and 2 for the back, so that you can do beforehand, and you can just put them separate until we need them. You can then go ahead and hoop your cutaway stabilizer, only 1 layer, and we're going to start making this top panel first, then we'll do the bottom. But as you can see, the top and the bottom is exactly the same, so I'll go through this one with you and then you can just do the same for the bottom, and then I'll show you how to join the two. So this book cover, although it's quite big, it is made in your 5x7 hoop. The same goes for the back. It's done in sections, and also the back flap of your book is also done in 3 sections. So again, the top and the bottom is the same, and then you will join it, but the back is done exactly the same as your front is done. Okay, you can now go ahead and load the first file, your top of your front section, and you can just do the outline directly onto your stabilizer. After you stitched the first step directly onto your stabilizer, it's just a guide to show you where to place your fabric. You will use some 505 spray. Lightly spray, then add your batting, and you can spray the batting again and add your fabric on top. And you will now go ahead and stitch until you get to a step the same as this exact one you just did. So just before that step you will stop, so you can continue now stitching all the detail that you see on top here, and then we'll back and I'll show you how to continue from there. After all the front decorative embroidery has been done, we're ready now to add fabric to the wrong side of the hoop. So remove the hoop from the machine and then just turn your hoop wrong way facing you, and you can spray lightly with 505 spray and add your back fabric over the entire design at the back. You're now going to take it back to your machine, and we're going to stitch the tack down step so that we can add our little corners in the next step. The step that just stitched is just an outline. If you turn your hoop, you can see the outline step that's stitched, and we now need to place our little corner that we made right in the beginning on the right spot. Now if you look at the shape as it lies in your hoop, and you just turn your hoop, this is actually the top of your book. So as I see my book here, this is the top section, so we need to put the corner on the wrong side of that corner, so it will be on this side. So just make sure that you put Well, especially when you stitch the second one, the first one doesn't matter so much. But when you do the next one, you need to make sure that you have corresponding corners on your design. So I'm going to do it on this corner. And I'm just going to lightly spray with 505 spray. And I'm going to place my corner about 1/4 of an inch from the corner there, where the stitches is. And then just make sure that it overlaps quite a bit. So when it's tacked down now, that it's tacked down firmly in place. You can now stitch the next step, which will be a zigzag stitch all around your shape, and then we will trim away the fabric on both sides of the hoop. After the zigzag is finished, you can now trim the extra fabric. Just to recap quickly, your next panel that you will do will be exactly the same, but your corner will go on this side. So you will have opposite corners, because one is the top and one is the bottom. So the next one you will do will be your triangle at the bottom corner. After you trimmed away the extra fabric on both sides of the hoop, you can now take it back to the embroidery machine to stitch the final satin step. After you completed both the bottom and the top panel, that's your top and your bottom panel, and you can see the triangles at the back as well on opposite sides, we're now ready to do the center part and to join it in the hoop. So you will go ahead and load the center part design onto your machine and stitch the first step, which is the outline to show you where to place your pieces. You will now go ahead and place your pieces, one on this side and one on the other side, and to get them perfectly in place, you can spray a little bit of 505 spray just on the edge, on the back, and then carefully line them up, overlapping the outline just slightly, making sure that your top and your bottom is aligned as well. So I'll first do that side and then I'll come and do this side as well. After you're done placing that, you can immediately go ahead and add your batting. And we're also going to add our top piece of fabric. You can place it back in the machine, and the zigzag stitch will now tack down all your layers and your sides, everything together. After the zigzag completed, you can go ahead and stitch the rest of the design until you get to an outline step again, which will be our stop to add our bottom fabric. So for now, go ahead and stitch the detail on top of the panel. All the detail on the block is finished, and we're now ready to cut these extra fabric on the sides away. So carefully cut as close to the stitches as possible. Just take care not to cut the bottom panel. After you cut away the extra fabric, we're now ready to add fabric to the wrong side of the hoop. So you're going to turn your hoop facing wrong side to you, add a little bit of 505 spray, and add your back fabric. You can now go back to your machine and stitch the zigzag stitch to tack down your bottom fabric in place. After the zigzag completed, you can now trim the extra fabric from the wrong side of the hoop, and we go back to the embroidery machine to finish off with the satin stitch. The center panel is now finished, and you can see it attached to your top and your bottom neatly, so your front cover of your book is now finished. You can remove it from the hoop, and we can trim away the extra stabilizer from the back. You can now just give it a quick iron so everything is neatly flat, and then your front cover is all done. You can do your back cover in this exact same way. I've already done mine just to save some time. So you will do your bottom and your top, and then in the same way that we've joined the two with the middle, you will do the same with this one to complete your back panel as well. After you've finished your front and your back, the spine is done in the exact same way. You will see you will have a short piece that you will do first, and then you will do the longer piece, and you will join them in the exact same way as you did with this one. So you will stitch that one, keep it separate. Then when you did the outline for this one, you will place your small piece, and then you will tack it down in the hoop, exactly the same way as we've done these. I just want to point out a very important aspect. When you do the center panel, just make sure that when you place your bottom and your top, that your corners is in the right place. For your front panel, they need to be, when you flip it over wrong side, they need to be on the left side of your panel, like you can see here, so that you have corners on all four. The same for your back panel. If you flip it over, it needs to be on the right hand corner. I actually made a mistake with mine, so you can see, even although I'm quite good at embroidery, I also make mistakes, and I've placed mine on the wrong side. So I would either need to have this one upside down or just redo this whole panel. So be careful, and just look carefully when you place your panel so that you put it the right way around. In your files, you will notice this little extra piece. I just added a snap to this one. On my previous book, we attached a metal latch to it, so you can use that to close your book, or you can use it as a little bookmark and just add a little tassel at the bottom. If you would like to add this little closure piece, you will on the back of your panel, you will just place it right in the center there, and then just with a zigzag on top, just tack it down firmly, maybe go down and back again to make sure that it's firmly in place. Now, to assemble your book, you will place your panels side by side, and with your sewing machine, do a zigzag of about 4 millimeters in width, and you can go forward and back again to make sure that it's firmly secured in place. You can now insert your book into your cover, and you can see it really is a nice book cover to use for notebooks or for journal. Or like for this one, I've added a very, very old Bible. This Bible was still my mum's. From the date in the book is 1967, so it's a very old Bible, and I thought this leather cover would really make it a nice keepsake for this very old Bible. Thank you all for joining us for this very exciting tutorial, and I hope you will all have fun making these very stunning detailed book covers. Thank you for watching. See you soon.